All right. So if you are worried that your goals may be too big, or you're not sure where to start with accomplishing your goals, or maybe you've just been using SMART goals, then it hasn't seemed to kind of create the success that you want. And first, let me say shame off. Shame off. Like, dust that off your shoulder, girl, because you are not the only one. I have had so many experiences where I've put on goals, I've made them smart, I've done all the things that people have said you should do to actually create the success you want by using goals, and it's still fallen flat. So that is why I went on a rampage to figure out what the heck is a better way to do this so that when I work on my goals, I actually accomplish the things that I've set out to do. And here's what I found: you don't need better goals, you actually need better systems. So, better systems help you accomplish all of those goals. And here's an amazing quote by James Clear: you don't rise to the level of your goals, instead, you fall to the level of your systems. So I would say the biggest thing that I've seen keep my clients and keep myself from accomplishing my goals and the things on my vision board is that we get really easily focused on what we want to do rather than getting focused on the how. How exactly are we going to accomplish this? So let's use weight loss as an example to explore what I mean by this. When I focused on the number on the scale every day, I constantly changed my plan based on what the heck was happening on the scale. And we all know the scale is not reliable. So, frankly, I really had absolutely no system to help me lose the weight and or to accomplish the goal. So, I was just trying all of the random things that I kept hearing the gurus say that I needed to do, hoping that something was finally going to work. Until I got frustrated enough to say, you know what? I'm tired of trying to do this on my own. It's time for me to invest in help. I need help. It's okay to admit that I need help. And I want to pause right here and say, it's okay for you too. Like, this is why you're here. You've been looking for help, and I want to help you take that even a step further. So, when I got help, that's when everything changed. I started working with a naturopath. Her name is the Naja Goddess. I'll put her information in the description here. But what changed was working with her. She gave me a system where, as long as I committed to doing the work from the system, we knew that I would get results. And because I was working with her, if I needed to tweak the system, she would show me little things that I needed to tweak, but I was never starting over because I had a specialist and a system that was going to help me accomplish the goal. So she gave me some things to do on a regular cadence, and it made it super, super simple for me to show up and get the work done. So before I knew it, I had dropped 30 pounds and I haven't gained it back. I felt good. And it seemed like I wasn't even really trying. The thing about it is, when you have a good system, it doesn't even feel like you're trying. You get to just show up and do the work, and you see things happen. You see results happen. But all of that works because I took the time to step back and set up how I was going to get things done rather than being focused on what I wanted to do. But here's the thing: all of that started to fall into place when I stopped focusing on the goal, because the goal was the what, and I actually started focusing on the how, and the systems were the how. So, hey, I'm Rashida. I'm a life coach for Black women, corporate professionals, and entrepreneurs who are tired of being burnt out and are ready to create a work less, live more lifestyle. On this channel, I talk about letting go of workaholism and practical ways to create the softer life you want, using vision to redefine success, and living my passions like eating good food, traveling, and physical wellness. So, if that sounds good to you, I would love for you to make sure you take a second to like, comment, and subscribe so that we can, stay connected. Like right now, go ahead, take a second and hit that like button, subscribe too. All right, great. So this is one of my passion topics, and I've seen so many great videos that say you need systems, not goals. And I wholeheartedly agree with this one caveat. You actually need both. So here's the illustration of how I can explain this. I like to think about it like a GPS. The goal is the destination you put in the map. That is the goal. It's the destination. But the system is the path to get you to the destination. And so if you don't have a destination, then all of the work you're doing in the process is not taking you anywhere specifically. But if you have a goal and you don't have any work to take you to that goal, you're not getting there. So you need both. You need both of those things to actually accomplish and create the lifestyle that you want. And I actually want to add one more thing to that equation. You also need vision. You need a map first and foremost. Okay. So vision is creating the map. There's so many things in this life that you could want. And there's so many things that telling you you should want this or that or this or that or that and this. But when you decide to choose a goal, you're choosing a destination on the map. This is exactly what I want. And then you create the systems. The systems are the path, the work that you're going to do to get you there. And those are the different pieces, the three specific pieces that you need to actually create the lifestyle, create the vision board, achieve the goals that you want by the end of this year. So here's an amazing quote that I love from JD Williams. It says, "The goal is the way for you to sift through the noise and figure out what you really want." He does an amazing video called "The One Habit That Is Changing My Life: Set Systems Rather Than Goals." So here's what it looks like to use both goals and systems. I particularly like to use Michael Hyatt's process, and he does a combination of two things: an achievement goal, which is generally what we think of as a SMART goal or just what we call a goal. And then on the other hand, there's a habit goal. And a habit goal is AKA a system to achieve everything that's on your 2024 vision board, because that's why we're here. We've just spent the last 5 steps going through creating our vision board. Now we've got to put in the work to actually accomplish the things that we've put on our vision board. And it's the systems that's going to help us do that. So the way that I like to do that is first I take and I translate the goal that I've created into an objective, and then I add a key result. So the objective is this is exactly what I want to achieve. So for this year, my primary goal is to get to 10K months in sales in my business. And then the key results that I know that I need to achieve to get there, these are the measures that I need to know that if I'm doing the work, if I'm constantly getting to these results, that it is going to amount to this. And it's not always one to one. Just because I do these things doesn't mean it's automatically going to get me there, but it's very closely related. 9 times out of 10, if you're doing the work, this is the result that it's going to snowball into. So those key results are things like increasing traffic on my website, increasing lead opt-ins for my lead magnet. It is connecting with more people. It is doing more collabs. So those are the key results. And I get more specific about how I do those. Okay. So now that I know exactly what my objective is, I know how I'm going to measure that I've accomplished that objective. Then I'm going to create these systems, these habit goals that say, if I do this on a regular cadence that I set for myself, I know that I'm regularly doing the work to accomplish the achievement goal that I've set aside for myself to do. Okay, so there's an amazing quote from James Clear from his book Atomic Habits that says, "It's your commitment to the process that will determine your progress." So what that means is if you want to achieve that goal, that objective, after you've decided what it looks like to be successful, if you don't have a system, you're never going to get to that goal. You're never going to get to those results because that is the process that you actually need to commit to. So commit to the system, commit to the action, commit to that habit goals, commit to the routines that are going to help you accomplish that thing because that's what's going to determine your progress to success. So there's a study that says 2/3 of people who set annual goals end up giving up on their goals in the first month. Well, you are not going to be a part of that 2/3 of people because I'm going to show you how to use systems to accomplish your goals and everything you've just put on your beautiful vision board that we've been creating over the last 5 steps in this Vision Board with Me series. So if you didn't know, this is video number 5 in my Vision Board with Me series. So, in the steps before this, I've taken you through every step that you need to prepare yourself to make a vision board that is really going to work. Now, I'm showing you how to take the action to manifest that vision board at the end of 2024. So, I remember back when I didn't have all of this figured out. I was in my corporate career as a fashion tech designer. And honestly, I was just going from one next best thing to the next best thing. I was just going from thing to thing to thing, feeling like I was always taking the next step, but I had never really stopped to intentionally choose this was what I want. This was the life that I wanted. And I remember waking up and saying, is this it? Like, is this all that's left? Like, I had a great job and I had done some traveling, but I felt boxed in. I felt like there was more to life. I felt like I wanted to have more impact. I wanted to be more connected to people. I wanted to have more freedom to choose my schedule, to choose who I wanted to impact and who I wanted to work with, more than just what I did and got up to go to work to make money for. Um, and so I went on this journey of paying off all my debt. And on my last debt payment, I decided, I think I'm gonna try something different. And so I quit my job. Well, I put in my resignation, and a couple months later, I left on a year-long mission trip, and that took me on a discovery path. I started doing vision boards as a way to start getting out of the things that I felt like I should do and start writing down the things that I wanted to do. Start writing down the dreams and started focusing on making those things a part of my life. So I made that big transition in 2016. In 2019, I remember talking to a friend in Ecuador after just getting off a zip line. And she was like, girl, like, you've got an amazing life. This this is so cool. We're so happy you're here hanging out with us. And I had to stop and be like, you know what? You're right. I am living the life that I want to live. And it all started with me getting out of the shoulds and starting to put on paper and making an intentional decision. What did I want from life? And so when you think about how I relate that back to the things that I talked about as the three main things to help you accomplish your goals, that was me getting clear vision and then adding goals and systems to keep moving forward. So over the years, I've gotten better at this. Don't worry, I've had plenty of mistakes. So if you're not there, please don't feel like it has to happen overnight. This is an evolution. This is changing your life. It doesn't happen overnight. Even though if you use these steps, it is going to make it easier. It's going to help you focus on doing the work rather than trying to figure out what work to do to get the result. So it's going to simplify it. But please know it's still work to do. So I'm going to give you the steps that I did. So this will hopefully quantum leap you over some of the trial and error, the DIY things that I had to figure out. And you can go from there. So step number one, after creating my vision board, the first thing that I did was focus on my primary goal. Now, if you have followed through and gone through the other videos that have been in this series, that means you've already done the step of picking a primary goal for 2024. And you probably thought to yourself, I need more than just one goal. I'm going to do other things as well. Here's the thing. I really want you to focus on one primary goal because the thing is, for one, when we try to add more than one goal in, we end up being distracted and we never give enough energy to one thing. So think about it like this. If you have 10 equal things that you're trying to do, and you give just $1 to each of those 10 things, you're making a little itty bit of progress on each of those things, but nothing to significantly change your life. But if you actually switch the way you did it and just put all 10 of those dollars on that one thing, you'll be able to accomplish more in that one thing a lot faster until you could check it off the list and have it done and then focus on the next thing rather than trying to do all of the things at one time. So you'll see yourself make more progress in one area faster rather than making nominal, almost unable to see any progress in the other areas, trying to do everything at once. So I sincerely can't say this enough. Focus on just one primary goal. Okay, so if you haven't chosen that one primary goal to focus on, I want you to go back and check out a video that I created about that. I'm going to put that Like, I'm gonna put the card for that right here. Here's what the cover looks like. Go back and do that video first and then come back to this place on this video, okay? All right. So if you have your one primary goal that you're going to work on, let's get started. So here's the goal that I'm working for this year. I make 10K per month. So I wrote it in past tense because I want to be telling my mind this is already happening. I want to be in a place where I'm not in poverty mindset, where I'm begging for it, where I'm asking the universe for it. I'm saying that universe, you've already given this to me. I'm receiving and I am leaning into putting in the work to get it. So write that primary goal in past tense. I make 10K per month. All right. With that being said, let's move on to step number 2. The second thing that you want to do is that you want to do your research and create some quarterly goals that are going to give you milestones from where you are today to where you want to be at the end of the year. And the reason we're doing that is this whole process that I've been taking you through, it's been all about starting with the long-term vision. It's all about looking at where do I want to be in the future? Where's that destination on the and now that I know where the destination on the map is and I know where I am today, how am I going to work myself to that position? So we're working our way back and then coming forward rather than just trying to find our way forward. We've got to be clear with what the destination is before we start any of this process. Okay, so choosing your quarterly goals. If by the end of the year, the goal is to have 10K months, then what goals should I create to accomplish in Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4? Okay, what are some milestones that I want to accomplish that help me see that I'm well on track to accomplishing that goal? Well, maybe in this first month, I want to get to 2K months or however you want to break it down. So maybe if 10K is what I want to be quarter number 4, then maybe quarter number 3, I need to be at 7K. Quarter number 2, I need to be at 5K. And quarter number 1, by the end of the first 3 months of this, I might want to be at 3K. As you can see, now you're starting to break down what are some milestones that I can accomplish on the way to accomplishing that goal. If you're having a hard time figuring this out, I would strongly suggest this is a great place to use Bard, or actually it's called Gemini now. Use AI, use ChatGPT, use Claude. There's all of these great AIs out in the world now that you can take advantage of that are going to help you figure out what are some quarterly milestones and help you break it down to manageable chunks of work for you to figure out how you're going to get to this goal. But start with asking it, what are some quarterly goals that I can accomplish in my XYZ business to get to this result? I'm using this as an example, but whatever your primary goal is, you can use AI to help you figure out what are some good milestones to help you accomplish over the next 4 quarters. All right, so now you've picked a primary goal and you've broken it down into quarterly milestones that you're going to accomplish over the year. Step 3, you want to use your quarterly goals to break it down even further into habits that you can do on a daily and weekly basis that are going to help you achieve that first milestone. I want you to just focus on the first milestone right now. So if the first milestone is to achieve 3K months so that we can get to our annual goal of 10K months, what are the things that we need to do to accomplish our 10K month? Now, I've been saying this in regards to a business, but let's also talk about it in regards to a corporate professional. Maybe you as a corporate professional is already making the income that you want, but you need to pay off debt. You can break this down in the same way. Maybe you're already debt free. You're a corporate professional, you're already debt free, but you're wanting to buy a house. Or maybe you're a corporate professional, you're debt free, you don't really want to buy a house, or maybe you've already bought a house and you want to go on for vacations, or you want to start creating an exit plan from your job. Whatever your goal is, it's the same process of taking your bigger goal and breaking it down. And you can use AI and different things to help you choose the quarters. And you can even use AI to help you figure out what are some good habits that are going to help you accomplish that first quarter milestone. Remember, as I was going through the intro, I said, It is completely okay to ask for help. This is a great place to get a coach, to get a course. This is a great place to invest in a process that's going to take out the guesswork of accomplishing your goal and give you a process and a system for you to follow. Remember, there are systems all around. It's just we don't always recognize that there are systems, and we don't always recognize the importance of sticking to the system. So invest in some kind of system. And if you are figuring it out for yourself, make sure you use resources like AI, a coach, a course, whatever it is that's going to help you get the system to get it done. So for me, for my business, some of the main key results that I want to accomplish is that I want to see the traffic to my website increase, and I want to see the conversions to sales increase. And the reason that is important is because I know when I get my business in front of more eyes, I'm going to connect with more people who relate to what I'm talking about, who want to use my services, who want to work with me. And so, do you see how those two are connected? I'm thinking about what are the things that are connected to me accomplishing the goal and the things that I can control to help me accomplish the goal. And I'm working on increasing those things so that the process that I'm doing is yielding results in these specific ways. When we create habits like these are the building blocks to creating the action to use the systems that we're going to do to create the results that we want. Once you know what habits and things that you need to do on a regular basis to actually snowball into the results you want, it's time to figure out what's the cadence in which you're going to do that. Cadence meaning how often are you going to do that result? And how do you know you're staying in the range of success? So, for example, increasing traffic to my business. On a weekly basis, I am going to look at my metrics for the traffic on my business and see, am I doing things that are helping increase the traffic to my website? The way that I'm going to check that on a weekly basis, I'm going to go into my website and check for the analytics and see, is the traffic for my website increasing at the rate that I want it to? And if it's not, then that means the habits before it. So the habits of how many videos I create on YouTube, how many TikToks and shorts and things that I post, um, all of those other pre-habits that I do that are helping affect my traffic, if I'm doing those well, then the traffic that I want will increase. If the traffic is not increasing, then that means I need to tweak the habits that I have set aside to increase that traffic. And I need to tweak those so that the results come afterward. So here's another way to think about it. A lot of times we think I need to try to change the result, but it's not the results that needs to change. It's the work that we've been doing to create those results. We need to change that work, and that's what will change the result. So then again, focus on how we're doing the work so that it's getting us the results that we want rather than what it is that we're trying to accomplish. So now you've stopped your routines. Going back to our example for accomplishing 10K months. For first quarter, we want to get to 3K months. And we know that in that, one of the key results is to increase the traffic to our website. And so, in increasing the traffic to our website, some of the habits that I'm going to do is to make sure I'm putting out content on YouTube on a weekly basis, make sure I'm breaking that content down into reels or vertical content for 3 to 4 posts a week, then making sure I'm doing at least 2 sales reels a week or 2 sales vertical pieces of content. Um, and then also doing my live stream to keep engaging with my community because I want to be building my community as well. So now I have those 4 habits and I can stack those into a system of every day I'm going to work on this, or certain days I'm going to work on this. And as long as I continue to do that, I am going to see the result. And every month, I'm going to tweak if that work I'm doing is not getting the results that I need it to, then I'm going to tweak those 4 habits until I get to the place that it's allowing me to get the results that I want. Now, you see, all of this is helping us do the work to actually accomplish the main primary goal that we had on our vision board. Okay. So, step number 5, in the midst of doing all of this stuff to accomplish the things on our vision board, it's very easy that we can get bogged down, overwhelmed, all the things that we need to do. which is why I'm going to go back again and plug. This is why I'm saying only have one primary goal because it's going to end up to be quite a bit of work, more work than you probably originally realized. And so start with just one. Get really good at just one. Get really clear at just one. And then make sure after that you spend some time budgeting your time and energy. Now, I actually have a program, a product that helps you do this. It's called the Anti Superhero Toolkit. But here's the gist of it. You are going to take all of the habits, all of the routines. So you need to have time for sleep, time for work, time for doing your morning habits, doing your evening habits. So if you're both a corporate professional and a person who also is an entrepreneur, really need to budget out your time because you need to have on here time for your work when your corporate job, plus you need work time for your entrepreneurial time, and you still need time for sleep. And you should not be doing that at the sacrifice of fun and rest because that is what's going to take away your motivation to keep going. So we put all of this on our time and energy budget, and we make sure that we're not overbooking ourselves. We're making sure that we're being realistic about how much we can accomplish and how fast so that we're not setting ourselves up for failure and we're actually setting ourselves up to ask for help where we need it, to not be superwoman or superhuman, and to accomplish all of the things that we've put on our vision board. So using your time and energy budget helps you see all of the things on your plate and helps you make an intentional decision. Should this continue to be on my plate? How much should be on my plate? What things can I negotiate for? I've seen one of my clients do this exercise and go back to her job and say, I would rather have an $8,000 less salary and my Fridays so that I can focus on my business rather than trying to do a full week and do all of this work. Like this is where we actually get to be creative and create the time that we need and the energy for that matter to do all of the things that we need to do. I really want to talk about that energy for a second. Sometimes we put all of these things on our calendar and we stack them all up and we forget that it also takes the energy from us to be able to do that. If you're an introvert, you have back-to-back things. It shouldn't be back-to-back things with you hanging out with people. You need some time where you get to step away. So these are all the different things that we put on your time and energy budget so that you can be intentional and be smart about how you're going to use your time during the year. Then in step 6, now it's time to put your systems in your planner. That can be a digital planner or it can be an analog planner. I personally like to use Sensama. Sensama is a digital planner that keeps track of all of my tasks and it integrates with my calendar, with my project management systems. It brings everything into one place and it makes it easy for me to not only schedule everything out, also keep track of my systems and makes me schedule all of that on a calendar so that I always make sure that I have this balance to get things that I have for work done, but also make sure that I leave space and make time for rest and life and fun. Even though that's my planner of choice, if you want to use an analog planner, you'll just go into your planner and mark your systems on a regular cadence. So if you decided to do a cadence of working on your business every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, then you'll always go in and block that time out on your calendar for those days. And you make sure that you have that time set aside so that you don't give that time to anything else. And then as you go, you're setting in the task, here are the things that I want to do during that time. But you're using yourself, you're doing a bit of time blocking, you're doing a bit of forethought to set yourself up to be able to show up and just do the work rather than getting to the end of the week and realize you didn't spend any time on something that was important to you, or getting to the place where you know that you need to do the work and then don't know what to do at that time. So we're using all of this to be a lot more strategic and intentional about how we use our time so that we can actually accomplish our goals and the things on our vision board. All right. So then in step number 7, I want you to make a plan to adapt and pivot on a regular basis. This whole thing of creating a system, and even for a lot of people, creating a goal creating your vision board, creating systems, all of these things are probably new to you. And sometimes we get into things and we realize that we are caught in the shoulds. We're doing a lot of things that we think we should do, but they're not really the things that are serving us. And so the way that I combat that is regularly, I like to make time to do reflection. So the cadence that I like to do reflection on is I do it on a monthly basis where I have a worksheet of questions that I come back and I ask myself. I set aside about hour and a half time to journal, go through those questions, and it allows me to see, have my systems been working for me? Has the way that I've been using my time been working for me? What things do I need to start? What things do I need to stop? Where am I living in my shoulds? Am I sticking to my values? Am I making progress on my goals as I'm continuing to do the work inside of my systems? And so on a monthly basis, I do some time to journal from that. And then I use that information to adapt my systems for the next month so that I can make sure I'm always moving in the direction of that destination that I put on the. Now, while that sounds amazing because, a plan always makes us feel more confident in knowing what to do, when to do it, how to do it, there's still space that you are going to need for a backup plan. So if you've made a goal or if you've made a system where 3 times a week you go out and run, well, what if one day it rains outside and you obviously don't want to go run out in the rain? I don't know about you. You might have long hair and you don't want to have to do that. I understand. Don't beat yourself up for not being able to go run outside like you have on your regular system. Instead, have a backup plan. Maybe your backup plan is that's the day that you go to the gym, or maybe that's the day that you do jumping jacks at home, or you do a different kind of exercise at home so that you don't have to be out in the rain. So the idea is that you have backup plans for different parts of your system so that you can still accomplish them, even if they have to look a little bit different because of the way things are happening. So the way that this usually shows up for me when I am traveling, the way that I usually do my workouts at home, it doesn't really work. So I might take my workout bands and things like that, but things at home like my walking pad that I could walk and work, I'm not gonna be able to do that when traveling because I'm not gonna travel with a treadmill. So I have to find another way to do that. So on one hand, I might just plan to go walk outside, or if I know I'm gonna be by a gym, I might take, a travel version of my treadmill desk and travel with that so that I can still walk and work while I'm traveling. So what I'm saying is have a backup plan so that your systems don't get off track and that you're able to keep the routine and cadence that you've set aside that's snowballing into the success that you're working to create. So the bottom line, all of your systems are set up to help you stay dedicated, to help you commit, to help you take action on the how of what you want to accomplish. So make sure that you spend time to figure out, is this working for me? And then commit to it and keep doing it. Because as James Clear said, this is the process. If you commit to the process, this is what is going to determine your progress. Okay. So if you need help doing that, the other thing that I'd like to share is I don't do this alone. I use accountability, I use community to help me stay on track. With that in mind, I create a free community where every Friday we come together on my YouTube channel to do a co-planning session where we come together, we celebrate our wins, we set up our schedule for next week, and then we wind down for the weekend. And we do that every single Friday together. For one, because it's accountability for me, but it's also accountability for you, knowing that there's like-minded people who are on the same journey as you, who are trying to create a life that they love, who are passionate about similar things that are coming together. And we're all encouraging each other to stay the path. Because like I said, just because you have the vision board, that's the beginning to putting it to work. And this is the work. This is the accountability. This is the progress. This is the process we need in order to keep making progress to our goals. And so I would love for you to join us every Friday at Freedom Fridays, noon Eastern Standard Time on this YouTube channel at Your Dream Strategist. So make sure you take a second to like, comment, and subscribe, and then turn on notifications so that it will notify you the next time we do a session and you can come and join and do these weekly systems with us. This is a part of my weekly system is doing this weekly review. Now, that being said, there's a couple different steps in this process that I shared today. And I have a whole community and toolkit to help you set all of this up. I walk you through every single step with a worksheet that helps you create these things. If you are interested in that, that is called the Anti Superhero Toolkit, where we create your time and energy budget and I help you create the habits and routines that are going to become your system to accomplishing your goals. So make sure you take a second to go and find it in the description. It's a great community. I love how the people from that community come and join this call as well. And I'm so excited to help you go past DIYing and actually getting the support you need so that you can simplify this process and get to your results so much faster. So let's do a recap of what we talked about today. Step 1 is focus on your primary goal. Step 2, you're going to create your quarterly milestones. Step 3, you're going to create your habits and define the cadence that are going to build up to that quarterly milestone. And then in step 4, you're going to stack those habits into a system. In step 5, in your time and energy budget so that you're not overbooking yourself or spreading yourself thin. Then in step 6, you're going to make sure you manage and track your systems in your planner. And then in step 7, you're going to reflect regularly and adapt as needed. And I suggest doing that on a monthly basis. And then I forgot to say, we do a monthly reflection on the last day of every month at noon on this YouTube channel as well. And that's what's going to help you reflect regularly and adapt your systems as needed to keep you moving and making progress to accomplishing your 2024 vision board. And then number 8 is to have backup plans. Not everything is going to work out perfectly every single day. And that's okay. That's normal. Shame off. Don't feel bad for that. If you can't do that normal system the way you usually do, here's the backup way for you to still be able to accomplish it and still be able to stay on track to accomplishing your 2024 goals. Wow, that was a lot of information and I'm so excited. We've really gone through every single step you need to create a vision board that works. So I'm so glad that you've been here for this whole series and have a couple more bonus videos to add on the other end of this. All right, so here's the last thing I want to say. You are not behind. Yes, we are talking about amazing ways to get focused, to get clarity, to make huge progress toward accomplishing your goals and achieving everything that's on your 2024 vision board. But that's about growing and continuing to be better, not because you need to catch up. You don't need to catch up. You're exactly where you need to be. So deep breath, shame off, and get excited for the next video because we're going to go a little bit deeper into that topic in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I always enjoy being here with you. Have a great rest of your day.